Welcome to Chit Chatter with Rias, the podcast that provides information to you about the legal and political process. Now here's your host, Rias Chattergoon.
Thanks for joining, everyone. Welcome to Chit Chatter with Rias. My name is Rias Chattergoon. I'm a lawyer specializing in employment law and personal injury law in the South Florida area for the past 17 years. I am extremely passionate about civil rights and about people understanding their rights. And well, you could say I'm a little obsessed with women's rights. I do spend a lot of my free time, quote unquote, explaining and yes, criticizing the political process and various legal opinions to my friends and family. And really, that's how the idea for this podcast was born. I spent the greater part of the last 15 years bringing employment discrimination and retaliation cases on behalf of employees and defending small and medium-sized businesses. A majority of my employment practice has naturally matriculated to representing women on issues of sex harassment, gender discrimination, equal pay, and pregnancy discrimination claims. I would say about 85% of my clients are women. I do help a lot of executive women negotiate their employment agreements and or contracts. Because of this, I read and I analyze a lot of federal case law. It's something that I realize not a lot of people understand outside of sound bites from whichever one-sided media you're reading or whichever one-sided post on social media you happen to see that day. So the idea for this show is intended to provide you with information regarding how the political process works and to explain to you legal decisions and how those legal decisions affect your everyday life. I will interview individuals whose lives have been affected by these legal decisions. And of course, I'm going to give you my commentary on those decisions. We'll also talk a little bit about current events, do a little gossip in between. In the coming months and during the election cycles, I intend to interview certain candidates who are vying for your vote. And that's another topic you will hear quite frequently on this podcast. Your right to vote and the measures and the steps that are being taken to suppress that right to vote. The show is intended for anyone looking for this type of information. It's for the average citizen who has a desire to learn more about our legal system and how it actually works. And if you're someone who desires this information, you'd like to learn more, then this podcast is for you. Like I said, the show will be a mix of commentary and interviews. The goal is to publish weekly, depending on, of course, my trial schedule. That may change. I'm just being really honest with you. Thanks again for listening. I do hope that you subscribe to this podcast. And as my 7-year-old son Liam says, hit that like button.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and recommend wherever you get your podcasts and tell a friend. You can also follow the podcast on our social media pages.